What am I doing here? I don't know. What's my role in this? It's to try and explain how, when Remarks of Uncertain Consequence came out in 2022, and Alan died in 2022. It was his last publication, or so we thought. I'm not quite sure of what words I'm using or what word I'm trying to grab hold of to say how it came about that Alan was having none of this, because he wanted another publication. I was going to go for the word supernatural, but I thought that was too loaded, and then I go uncanny. And I know there's a podcast called Uncanny, which is grateful, but I thought maybe not uncanny. Paranormal, I thought was far too grandiose. Psychical is too problematic. Extraordinary, maybe extraordinary, but then it's a little bit common. I pushed that aside and I left it, and for Wells with Michael. Anyway, the other day I was just reading some golden oldies, and I mean real golden oldies. So there I was, reading Geraldine Monk, Hyde Beauty. And one of this line suddenly jumped out at me. All things counter, original, spare, strange. And I thought, yeah, that's what I want. I own that line. I must have read it 1,000 times, but he's never really jumped out something like it did. And I thought, well, that'll do nicely for the moment. So this is how this came about, which was the all things counter, original, spare, and strange. The strangeness started, I think, on May the 1st, 2001. It was the 22nd anniversary. It was also our fourth, or was it our fifth attempt to try and get to Norwich. We almost made it. That time. We tried in 2005, actually, and we got as far as Cromer. So we were almost there, and then some crisis hit along, and we had to be diverted away from Norwich. And then we were going to go for our, 23rd wedding anniversary, and then the pandemic came along. And every time we went back, the pandemic, we almost got there again. And there was another occasion we almost got there when something we were going to take part in fell through. So this place, which is very, very hard to get to. But on the 1st of May, in 2021, they'd not gone complete planned down, but there were definitely hotels. We weren't allowed in hotels. But we did go for a picnic. And during this picnic, I suddenly had what I suppose you could call, premonition, was it? Premonition, intrusive thought. Let's keep it an intrusive thought. I I looked at Alan and this thought came to me, and that thought was, oh, but he's got lung cancer. And then I pushed that thought away because I didn't want sex and Alan Halsey. I don't know where it came from, except that, he's smart like a trooper, so maybe for that. I mean, I don't know where it came from. It just came. And then later that night, that evening, we cracked open a bottle of champagne, and I'd sent him through that Roberta Flatter. He'd been doing the rounds, so I'd had it in my computer, it kept popping up. And I sent that through to him, and we listened to it. And as we listened, I was suddenly overwhelmed by this incredible, I was so upset, I was suddenly became inconsolable. And Alan put his arm around me and he said, what's wrong? But I just said, well, we're never going to get to Norwich. And he said, well, this pandemic's not going to last forever. And I said, no, I know. I said, but we're never going to get to Norwich. It's just not going to happen. And a few days later, I was in the doctor's surgery, and that was the beginning of his diagnosis of having lung cancer. So I marked that day out because it seemed that then obviously, my life started to change, and strange things happened. But some of these strange things that were happening were really quite nice things. And one of these coincidences that you read things into things, and because everything is suddenly gone chaotic, and you start searching for foils and connections that might help underpin all the chaos with some kind of order, no matter how absurd that order might be. It's still an order. One of the things, which is, I kind of know what I'm going to say here because of the day we are sat in this room. And it's towards the end. Alan, he was finding ways of getting a lot of morphine, I think, but he was in the hospital, and I went up to see him, and he said, well, I was obviously there as much as I could get there, but of course, there's a lockdown. You had to boot in, and then you had to get all done up in a mask and a pinny and an apron and gloves, so it wasn't that pleasant. But he said, William Blake keeps coming to see me, and he was a massive Blake fan. And so I would go and get it, and he said, has he been? And he said, oh, yeah. I said, well, you must be on first name terms with you now. And he said, well, yeah, I call him Bill. He said, and Lex's wife, Kate, in which case I called Wills with Kate. And it is going, I can guarantee you this is going somewhere sensible. It's been hunting way around, but it is going somewhere. All this is going somewhere. And, so when I went in one day, and I said to Alan, has Bill been to see you? He said, yes, I'm this young nurse. I said, he keeps getting visits from William Blake. She had no idea who William Blake was. And he kept saying, Tiger Tiger. No, she didn't. Well, and it was Jerusalem. She didn't know Jerusalem. So, and Alan had a chest infection. It was really, really bad. And he was really struggling to breathe. And he suddenly sat up and recited this. "O rose, thou art sick, the invisible worm that flies in the night, in the howling storm, has found out my bed of crimson joy, and his secret love dost thou life destroy." And then I just looked back and started dead. And the thing is that I did take this day, and then we found out that today is actually William Blake's birthday. And if you think I did pick this day, I think you're mistaken, because obviously Alan's been at it again. And he thought, no, I want Blake's birthday. So that's why we're here today, is because Alan wanted this to happen on William Blake's birthday. Alan died 2 days after that episode, and I was reading it, William Blake, till the very last moment. And then I thought everything, well, the bleakness does hold here. I don't know, there isn't any word to describe how bleak I felt, but a year later, something very odd happened. I was in the Isle of Man, and I got this email. This will be something exactly a year after Alan died, because I didn't want to be on my own. So some of my family were in the Isle of Man, so I decided to go up and meet up with them. And I got an email from Martin Calder Smith. And in fact, I will read you from the email. If these glasses work. Okay. So Martin said that he'd been dreaming of Alan, that Alan had been coming to him in his dreams. And he wrote, "He's showing me a new manuscript with arcane drawings. Is there any Halseyan fragments that might make a book still unpublished?" And I said, well, I've no idea, I don't think so, because I looked and the few outstanding poems I'd already sent to Adam for inclusion in Blackrock's Manifold. I said, I don't think there's anything, but how long will I get back? When I got back, the day after I'd gone back to Sheffield, I'd booked in to see this here again, psychic medium. I don't all run for the door going, oh, for God's sake. Because that's usually the reaction, particularly for men. I don't think this to be divided, but I've noticed that men are absolutely so against any talkers that I'm just saying it. Don't go for the door yet. I'm not claiming anything. I was supposed to go with my friend and she could make it. And I thought, well, I'll go on my own, because to be quite honest, I won't be quite honest, I'd never been to all these things before. And I also felt it was a lot of traffic. It's just, I just think this is a con trick, you know? I didn't believe that, so I'd never been to it before. It didn't really interest me. But we thought, well, I thought I'd go along for a laugh. Or Suzanne is very into it. She was very heavily into it, that kind of stuff. So it has a powerful. And at the end, it is a woman called Jane Pollard, and at the very, very end of the evening, and I must say, I was incredibly impressed by some of the stuff she was coming out with. And then she sort of set her sights on me, and I thought, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this. I'm not going to go into everything she said, but it really was quite extraordinary what she was saying to me, and things that it was extraordinary. But here's the thing. She said to me at one point, this freaks me out. She says, he sat next to you. And I, okay. And she said, he's got his hand like this. And he's doing this. And she said, the figures. And I thought, oh, really? Right. And I said, right. I said, I think I know what is. And I got home. And I opened a bottle of wine, as you do. And I thought, what's going on here? There's a Pinson attack. Because this is only 2 days after Martin had written to me. So then I opened up Alan's computer and began to search for anything for arcane drawings, as Martin said. Martin actually teaches in Boise, in Idaho, at Boise University, and he actually runs this press that published this. And they're old friends, they're old collaborators. And they're old collaborators. I've lost my train of thought. So that's it. So I opened up the computer, and then I start finding all these things. And there were one of these little drawings, as you can see, and they've all got these little portraits underneath. Now, I do know that he'd done one or two different things with his portraits, self-portraits for removal from the exhibition. But I didn't realise to what extent he'd done how many he'd done. I didn't realise he had something called sticks, and he had something, what else has he got in here? So there's a series where it starts off with Into the Interior, and that was one that Kelvin Corcoran had done a kind of collaboration with Alan's work. And when I was looking into his visuals, I realised that Alan had actually got complete. He had his own version of this. So I thought, well, that needs to be presented in its original form. And then there's another series, same again, these little strange diagrams. It's called Patchwork Guilt. And this one is obviously one that he's written during lockdown. He says, remember 1957, the first Sputnik in orbit? A word lately reclaimed as a vaccine against COVID-19. And so these are all little sort of like, you know, those little droids who did that little pictures we kept seeing COVID that looked like a Sputnik. And so that's obviously one that he had that I didn't know existed. And the next one is the sticks, I think. Or have I got that wrong? It's so fine as paper. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sticks. There's another little series. Obviously, the sticks is the river, going to the river of death. So I presume that he was writing these with with one eye on his own mortality. I'm trying to think time is up, yells the boatman. You, and you, the loss of you, back on board, and by you, I mean you. He'd had a chance to decide how much darker in Luke's from the other side, and told that to the spooks. So you can see these are, they arrive with how and for that matter where. They're going with you, then with there, in the here and now. And then this finishes with does it finish with that? The self-portraits removed from an exhibition of which you'll see these coming up here, which are all from that. And this is a series of 25, some are incredibly poignant. And so this is it. There were copies at the back, which I don't know, that probably not brought many as I thought there'd be people here. So if you want one and there's none left, Westhouse Books is still linking along somewhere on the web. If you go into that, there's actually loads of about step for sale. And you'll be able to, or just email me and I'll send you copies. And there's also one or two that there's some remarks of consequence there, and there's one or two other books if anybody's interested in buying them. So that's it. This is how this came into being. It came into being because Alan found two ways of letting me know that if you think you're sitting there staring into space, you've got another thing coming and he's been very, very demanding, I can tell you, since he started. In fact, he's been more demanding since he passed on than he was, because he was very, very easy going and easy to live with. But since he's got, I was just like, it's not anything else, and he never leads me a lot. He really does. So the ending of this book, I'm going to pass over now. The ending of this book, I thought I'd end it off slightly different, but I found his old boards, which is a song to the sun coming up. It's actually a song which has got a lot to do with lovers' trysts as well. It's like leave Mary their secret tryst as the sun rises, and it's quite sort of lovely, springly, joyous piece that gets more and more disturbed and crazy. Joyous, maybe. But I thought it was a good way to end the book on a kind of like happy-ish note. And I'm absolutely thrilled to say that Laura Cole is a pianist, composer, and a good friend of Jits Voices. We've all gigged alongside each other. And she's going to do something, I haven't heard it, she's going to do some stuff around the boards. So I'm handing over to Laura.
Victor's wife,
or
son in rests, of
text.
It's not pretty to be called up as to make. It's like
Nothing. Mean.
I thought you were going to continue. Was that the plan? So, I think we were waiting for a couple of more slides, but never mind. I think, shall we call it to me? Yeah. So, Geraldine, you will have the books with you.
They're at the back.
And it's free?
But there's more people here. As I say, if you contact me if they've all gone, and I'll send them to you. And Dave will officiate what we're going. And there's one or two remarks and a couple more of publications, but I didn't bring that one because I didn't carry that many. But so if anybody wants to have a look and pick up a Last Unravelling, go for it. Right.
So, thank you for our online audience for coming tonight. Thank you for our real audience for coming tonight. And that was us for the autumn 2024 Center for Poetry and Poetics. But we are going to continue on the 28th of February, launching that special person's book, Harriet Tallo's. It's a slight delay with the launch date, but see you next year. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm going to... So we've got the recording as well.
Oh, that's good.